Hey y'all, it's Amanda. It is December 21st. It's almost Christmas and I'm really excited. The holidays are always my favorite time of year, so yay Christmas. Today I'm going to do my book review on The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. I guess that's how you pronounce his last name. It's probably totally wrong, but that's how I'm going to say it. We did this book for my book club. We just started the book club, actually. Me and a couple of friends decided, like, hey, let's do a book club. So we're going to do a book club. And this was the first book we read. And I had suggested it because I had really wanted to read it. And I'd kept hearing a ton of ton of good reviews on it. And it's been a bestseller since the beginning of time, it seems like. So, yeah, this was our first book, and I'm really glad that I finally got to read it. And it took me about almost a month to read the book, and that's because I'm a really slow reader. It was nothing against this book. I'm just a really slow reader. And if you don't know anything about this book, it is set in Germany. It follows the story of Liesel, where she ends up with Hans and Rosa Huberman. Oops, sorry. My phone is on. Let me turn that down because that's probably gonna go off again. Okay. Anyways, and it's told from Death's perspective. He is the narrator in the book. And she loses her brother, who's very, very young. She's very young. She's like 10, I think, when the book starts. And her mother pretty much abandons her, and she is sent to live with the Hubermans. I think that's how you pronounce their name. I'd hate to say it wrong, but I do believe that is her. No, it's Hans and Rosa. I do know that. But anywho, if you read the book or if you read it, you probably already know what their last names were. Anyways, during her stay there, she makes friends with Rudy, who lives next door, and she adjusts to this new life as best as she possibly can. And she also connects with Papa, Hans, who is a really, really great character in the book. And kind of sort of with Mama, Rosa, who is a very stern lady. But you know that she loves Liesel. And also, during the story, Hans has to repay a debt to a man who pretty much, he saved Hans's life during the First War, and the man had a son, and his name is Max, and Max is a Jew, and it's not a good idea to be a Jew in Nazi Germany. So Hans opens up his home to Max, and they hide Max away in their basement. And Liesel and Max develop a relationship that is just very, very sweet. So that's the premise of the story. Pros about this book. The things that I did love about this book, it is very realistic. I mean, even though it is told from Death's perspective, you get that sense of, oh, this is, this really happened, and, this is a very sad and dangerous situation for not only the Jews in Germany, but the Germans who were, against what was going on with the Jews, the Germans who had, the innocent Germans, I guess you could say, because, we come to know World War II, about all the things that the Jews went through, and it was terrible. It breaks my heart to even think about it. And so I found it interesting that this was told from the perspective of a German, and some of the things that they had gone through, especially those who, like I said before, disagreed with what was going on with the Jews. And so it tells you a story from Liesel, German, and then Max, who is a Jew, and it lets you know the horrors that they had to face during this time. I really liked that it was told from Death's perspective. I liked I don't know. It was never specified if it was male or female, but he seemed like a guy. So he had some really great one-liners in this book. He was just kind of snarky and had a dry sense of humor, and I found that quite intriguing. The other characters, Liesel, who is the main character, I liked her character. I felt for her through all the things that she had been through at such a young age. Losing her brother, having to adjust to this new family. Excuse me. And then, staying strong, and to, in most times, in most situations that people have, more than half her age would have, lost faith or crumbled underneath that kind of loss. She's a brilliant character. I find her a very strong protagonist, and very brave. Her friend Rudy, I really liked Rudy. I thought he was a great supporting character. I enjoyed reading about him and his adventures. He had a little bit of an adventure before Liesel got there, and everyone in the town remembered him painting himself black and pretending to be the Olympian Jesse Owens, and he was good friends with Liesel and her partner in crime, literally, because they would go around and steal things with each other. Most of the time they would steal food because they were constantly hungry. During that time they were on rations, and it was never enough, especially for Rudy's family because he had such a large family. So they stole a lot of that. And even though Liesel stole books, the book thief, Rudy would tag along with her during most of these adventures. Another character that I really enjoyed was Max. I just thought that his story, his sub-story of, how he came to end up in their basement, was intriguing. He seemed like such a broken person at first, and that's to be expected for what he went through. But through Hans opening his door, through Rosa tending to him while he was sick, and through his relationship with Liesel, it's like it gave him that little bit of fight, and I found that just inspiring. He could have easily just given up and said, okay, I'm not going to make it through this, so why should I even try? And he wasn't like that, and I found that really, really neat. So overall, the book was it's just a really good book, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars because I thought it was very well written. I liked a lot of the almost poetically so, I guess. There was a lot of beautiful writing in this book, and I like the story. I think it's a story that should never be forgotten because it was something that did take place, and on both sides there was a lot of heartache and a lot of pain. And if you haven't read it yet, then you really should, because it's a really good book, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. I'm really glad this was our first book in our book club. Okay, so update. The next book that we are reading in our book club is The Fault in Our Stars, and I know this is probably going to be another one of those books that just tears my heart to pieces because the book thief did, and I'm a sissy, so it's probably gonna make me cry. Which I'm really surprised because the book thief did make me cry, and my printer is going nuts. I don't know. It's making all kind. It cuts off and on sometimes. I don't know. It's weird. Anyways, the book thief did make me cry, and I am surprised about that because I don't usually cry when I read books. I'm very visual, and I'll cry during a commercial if it makes me sad. But books, not so much. This is only the third book I've ever read that's made me cry, and the first one was Quo Vadis, and the second one was what was it? Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and then now this book. So, if The Fault in Our Stars makes me cry, which it probably will, I'll let you guys know. And I don't know what we're gonna read after that. We haven't really gotten that far yet. And again, sorry. And we do have like a big list of books that we are trying to get through. But if you have any suggestions, please, leave them on the comments below, because we're always going to take suggestions, and I'm really excited about this book club. I've never been in a book club before, so if you guys haven't done that, you might not need to. I needed to, because I figured if I was in a book club, it would help me read more, because I usually spend a lot of my time writing. So I figured if I was in a book club, then I would feel like, hey, I've got to get this done, because, we want to talk about it, and I really want to read it. So if you do need a little bit of encouragement, maybe you should join a book club or start one. Whatever you want to do. But anyways, I hope you guys have a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. Spend time with your family. Don't forget what this season is about. It is about giving. We were given Jesus. We were given away to heaven, so we should give back. And spread the love and share joy and peace and happiness. So, yeah, Merry Christmas, y'all.